Hi everybody, welcome. For each topic, I'll be asking you to view these short video clips like this one here, where I summarize the big takeaways, which are the critical elements of this week's lesson that you just absolutely have to know. Watch these big takeaways videos that involve me pulling together some ideas, sometimes across multiple chapters, to help you see a bigger picture of research methods in psychology and how to think critically about research findings presented to us. So to begin, the big takeaways for Chapter 1, called Psychology is a Way of Thinking, are these. Number one, there are two goals in your taking this research methods course. First, it is very normal and reasonable to ask the question, why do I have to take this course? I did the same thing in college myself. It's easy to see how it is so very different from the other courses in your psychology degree plan. Know that there are two goals in your taking a research methods course. Number one, in order to use research findings properly to support your own informed opinions. And number two, to understand and properly evaluate the research conducted and reported by other people. We can be fairly sure that it is precisely because so many professionals and clinicians do not have this type of understanding about facts and findings being presented to them that a great deal of important research can be misunderstood, and some research with serious weaknesses or faults can be accepted without question as new knowledge, and that's a bad thing. To be clear, the large majority of psychological research is peer-reviewed and therefore confirmed to be based upon solid evidence. It deserves your respect and your study. You can feel good about that. But some scientific research is not sound, so it is the goal of this course to teach you the difference, to become what I call a healthy skeptic. The scholar who always demands evidence, seeks evidence to support claims about scientific truth, instead of blindly accepting someone's assertions as facts. This is called critical thinking about published research. Don't ever let the author of a research article tell you what to think, no matter how authoritative the source may seem. The healthy skeptic looks for evidence. You want the author of the research article to prove it to me through empirical, observable, scientific means. This class is about critical thinking about information, facts, and scientific discoveries, and disciplining the manner in which we take in that information. Second big takeaway from this course, it is the very nature of psychological science that makes critical thinking about our research so incredibly important. Psychological research, by its very nature, is particularly vulnerable to human biases that can influence interpretation of research results. Because we all bring a lifetime of human experiences to studying psychology, we also bring our biases, our expectations, and our assumptions about what we will find. It is the very nature of what psychologists study, abstract thoughts, hidden feelings, odd behaviors, that makes objective study so important. Subjective experience is just opinion, while objective findings are the facts that create psychological science. That's what we're looking for. As the reader of research, it is important for you to be able to detect such biases in researchers' published work. Some published authors find it difficult to always fully report research findings, even those that disagreed with some of their research goals or their research questions. I'll show you how some published authors can exaggerate research results that they're just very excited about, or summarize their research in a title or a headline that may be misleading about the actual research results or the scope of their impact. Psychologists are human beings, and so it can be difficult to always be objective. And so it is the very nature of psychological science that makes critical thinking about our research so very important. The third big takeaway and last takeaway from this week's lecture, psychological research progresses by discovering facts and building theories, like building blocks for a larger structure. We talk in this chapter about the scientific method. That's important to review that as applied by psychologists in our design of experiments and correlational studies. You want to be sure to read about the difference between the two types of research designs that we'll talk about because we'll talk about these designs the entire semester. An experiment versus correlational design. You'll see those again for sure. Psychological research makes progress in two steps. Step 1, generating facts. Now, each individual research study produces findings as facts. Those facts are like building blocks that help us build theory. Our goal in psychological science, in any science, is to move from those many scattered facts to the few underlying principles, also known as theories. So step 2 is formulating those theories. We want to discern patterns in the facts of the individual studies that we're finding. For example, patterns in observing human moods in their extreme form reveal to us historically that depression, also known as major depressive disorder, is made up of 9 possible symptoms, and that suicide is most often preceded by depressed feelings. Now, this is common knowledge today, but here's the point. Understand that the history of psychology, the past 150 years, has been about forming theories as scientific explanations for human behavior and those invisible thoughts, opinions, and emotions that we'd like to study. Be sure to read about what makes a good theory, 7 characteristics in this chapter. You'll see those characteristics of scientific explanations really reflect psychology's commitment to the empirical study of human experience in a manner that is based upon objective, systematic observations. Those characteristics also reflect what makes a good research question in psychology, one that is tangible, testable, measurable, observable. This is noteworthy in psychology because we like to study non-tangible phenomena like thoughts, opinions, and sometimes hidden emotions like stress. Concepts like that. So in summary, the big takeaways from chapter 1, called Psychology as a Way of Thinking, are these. Number 1, learning the difference between good research and bad research is why you're here taking this class. Not every fact you hear is true. You probably already knew this. And in psychology and social science, not every research result that you are told is based upon solid evidence. Number 2, it is the very nature of what psychologists study, abstract thoughts, hidden feelings, odd behavior, that makes critical thinking so very important. Because we all bring a lifetime of human experiences to studying psychology, we also bring our biases, our expectations, and our assumptions about what we will find. Those aren't always true. And number 3, the last big takeaway, psychological research progresses by discovering facts and building theories. We apply the scientific method rigorously to generate facts and build theories. Notice psychology's commitment to the empirical study of human experience in a manner that is based upon objective, tangible, measurable observations of the non-tangible phenomena that we like to study in psychology. Those are the big takeaways from chapter 1, called Psychology is a Way of Thinking. Thank you, everyone.